Stepping up his anti-India rhetoric, Maldives President Mohamed Muizzu has now stated that no military Indian personnel, not even those in civilian clothing, would be allowed to be present inside his country after the 10th of May. Now, Muizzu's statement comes less than a week after an Indian civilian team reached the Maldives to take charge of one of the 3 aviation platforms in the island nation well ahead of the 10th March deadline agreed upon by the two nations for the withdrawal of Indian military personnel. During a public meeting, the president said, due to his government's success in expelling Indian troops from the country, people who spread false rumors are attempting to twist the situation. He's been quoted by local media as saying there will be no Indian troops in the country come the 10th of May, not in uniform, not in civilian clothing. The Indian military will not be residing in this country in any form. I state this with confidence. Muizzu made this statement on a day when his country signed an agreement with China to receive free military aid. Last month, after a high-level meeting between the two sides in New Delhi, the Maldivian Foreign Ministry had said India would replace its military personnel operating the 3 aviation platforms in the Maldives by the 10th of May, and the first phase of the process will be completed by the 10th of March. Now, there are 88 military personnel manning the 3 Indian platforms that have been providing humanitarian and medical evacuation services to the people of the Maldives for the last few years using 2 helicopters and a Dornier aircraft. Muizzu wrote to power last year on an anti-India stance and within hours of taking oath, demanded that India remove its personnel from the strategically located archipelago in the Indian Ocean region. India had agreed to remove its troops from the Maldives under the condition that a number of its civilians equivalent to the military presence are brought in to operate the aircraft. The opposition in that country has been slamming the Muizzu administration, claiming that the Indian personnel sent to the island country as civilians are in reality military officials out of uniform and that the government has no way to ascertain otherwise. Local media reports say the Maldives has successfully tied up with Sri Lanka to run flights for medical evacuation, further indicating that Muizzu is bent on removing all Indian troops from the country. The Maldives' proximity to India, barely 70 nautical miles from the island of Minicoy in the Lakshadweep and 300 nautical miles from the mainland's western coast, and its location at the hub of commercial sea lanes running through the Indian Ocean region gives it significant strategic importance. The Maldives has been India's key maritime neighbor in the Indian Ocean region and occupies a special place in India's initiatives such as Sagar, or Security and Growth for All in the region, and the Neighborhood First policy.